yesterday, the value of the Flow News 24 Canberra Bureau came into effect as Craig Kelly, federal member in the federal parliament, has decided to go to the crossbench and leave the Liberal Party. As a result, we're able to get our Canberra correspondent Hannah Phillips on the line with Clayton on the Arvo Flow, and John McDonald, who writes for us on Flow News 24, has put together a piece along with our content producer in our Roseworthy studios, Ricky Lambert. What we've come up with is quite an interesting look at Craig Kelly and some of the reasoning behind this. Mr. Kelly is a strong supporter of coal and nuclear energy options, and a problem has really emerged for the Prime Minister as he now just has that one-seat majority in the House of Representatives. Mr. Kelly, for his part, has said that he'll vote with the government on parts of legislation that were decided in the lead-up to the election, but on other matters, like things like this clean energy bill, which Angus Taylor has put together, and like things like the COVID-19 response, he is not on the same page, and I think that was evident as Labor sought to exploit that over question time in recent weeks. But this gets even deeper into the context of why he may have made the move to the crossbench. John McDonald, who writes on our Flow News 24 webpage, said that Craig Kelly told the Liberal Party that he was resigning as a matter of conscience because he believed he had a duty to speak out about therapies that would save people's lives. He has been outspoken on social media about the therapeutic benefits of hydroxychloroquine and zinc and Infurmectin. Recently, the Prime Minister had asked him to cease making claims on social media. And Mr. Kelly's answer is that if I'm to speak out and to use my voice the best I can, this is the best decision for myself and for the people that I represent, is what Craig Kelly then told his party room. In an interview with Sky News, Andrew Clennell, Mr. Kelly said he was very critical of the COVID-19 Critical Evidence Task Force. Now, he said that they hadn't considered the evidence related to alternative therapies. He said that there were 40 scientific papers now supporting Infurmectin as a therapy, but the task force had considered only 7. Mr. Kelly told Sky that he believed one of the greatest mistakes that's been made in this country and also the world was prohibiting doctors from prescribing Infurmectin and also hydroxychloroquine. He said, I believe this is a terrible error. And he said, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. That is slanderous smear. I support the vaccine program, but in concert, to use the words of our highest credentialed immunologist, these other treatments should be used in concert with the vaccine. Scott Morrison told the press conference on Tuesday morning that Craig Kelly had resigned because he could not meet the high standards that Mr. Morrison demanded. I guess it's a smear campaign that is now out there, and Craig Kelly was taken from Facebook for his views. There's just a problem here for the government, and that is that Mr. Kelly is actually quoting a whole range of papers from all around the world. And the United States themselves have moved in recent times to put Infurmectin back on the doctor and pharmacist prescribed list of drugs that they believe has an impact in stopping coronavirus. Here's what an article that was published by Monash University, an Australian university, and this article appeared back on Yahoo 7 News back on the 5th of April 2020, nearly 12 months ago, where Monash researchers stated that the coronavirus could be stopped in 48 hours using the simple anti-parasitic drug that is Infurmectin. Now, this is not old news. It was published in the Journal of Antiviral Research, a study that Monash University participated in. It showed that a single dose of Infurmectin could stop the coronavirus growing in cell culture, effectively eradicating all genetic material of the virus within 2 days. We found that even a single dose could essentially remove all viral RNA by 48 hours, and that even at 24 hours there was a really significant reduction in it, the study's lead author, Dr. Kylie Wagstaff, said. Dr. Wagstaff also cautioned that the tests conducted in the study were in vitro and that trials needed to be carried out in people. Infurmectin is a very widely used and seen as a safe drug, and we need to figure out now whether the dosage you can use it with humans will be effective. Now, that's nearly 12 months ago. You might recall that Donald Trump, who contracted the coronavirus, took a dose of Infurmectin and was well in 2 days. Yes, this report is quite widely available, and Wagstaff and Professor Jans stated that they would like to investigate further the use of Infurmectin and do further clinical trials and so forth. Now, it's interesting that these trials have been conducted all around the world, 40 reports that Craig Kelly is referring to. And so he has decided to move to the crossbench. And look, I think it's the best thing for the circumstance. He disagrees quite vehemently and is opposed to the position of the Liberal Party, which on this particular issue, and I think on the Clean Energy Bill too, which he opposes strongly on the grounds that he believes in coal and nuclear energy are part of a future roadmap for energy in Australia, as the many nationals do also. I would suspect that if last week was a long week in politics for the Prime Minister Scott Morrison, this week on a Wednesday has just got that little bit longer, as Clayton and Hannah concluded yesterday on the Arvo Flow.